Mr. Archie Chasson, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next, Mr. Mike Cully is going to read a prayer.
Yes, sir. This is a prayer for recovery from the hurricane. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty and ever-living God, we bring our grateful hearts to you in thanksgiving and praise for bringing us through the peril of a life-threatening hurricane. Yet we are mindful of those who have suffered injury, damage, or loss, and ask that you would comfort them with your healing love. God of mercy, be a present and steadfast help to those left reeling from Hurricane Ida. Give healing to those who have lost loved ones, and give strength to those who must rebuild their lives. In all things and all times, help us to remember that when the storms of life come upon us, you are always with us, guiding us to safety and helping us in our time of need. We also pray for those leading the recovery efforts. Bless those who are giving of their time, talent, and treasure in service of others. Grant them the wisdom and endurance they'll need in the coming weeks, months, and years ahead. Bring our community together in faith of you and love for our neighbors. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. And I'll let everyone know that Mr. Cully wrote that himself, that he asked that. So, Mr. Cully, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Cully, would you give us roll call?
Yes, sir. Seat A, Chucky Sheremy.
Here.
Seat B, Johnny Ardorn.
Here.
Seat C, Jamie Lafont.
Here.
Seat D, Rodney J. Gisclair Sr.
Here.
Seat E, Curtis Pierce.
Here.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Melisson.
Here.
Seat H, Mike Calais here. Seat I, Chris Calais.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cully. Next, we have approved minutes for October 13th, 2021 meeting. Need a motion. Moved by Mr. Larry Griffin, second by Mr. Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, next we have Director's Report. Mr. Shasso.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we have the Northern Expansion Projects, Northern Expansion, Slip C, Infiltration Canal, 1,500-foot bulkhead, PCO and Associates.
Yes, APC Construction is the contractor. We've given them a conditional notice to proceed. The formal notice to proceed is going to be issued on December 26th. Currently, they're on site grading and shaping the area that they're going to place the bulkhead. They're also have purchased sheet piles, and they're bringing them to the coater and getting them coated in Harvey. So,
Okay.
Progressing.
All right. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Northern Expansion, Slip D, and Bayou Lafourche Dredge, GIS Engineering. John.
Crosby Dredging is the contractor on this project. They have not begun dredging yet, again, since the storm, but this week they have started putting together their discharge pipe and that type of material. We'll be meeting with them Friday morning and getting a better schedule.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Yeah. What's the anticipated date of the dredge returning, or?
They have told us it'll be here next week, but Friday morning we'll have a better idea of when they'll actually start dredging.
All right.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Northern Expansion, GLF 626, Site Improvements, Angelette Piciola.
So this project was with Onshore Materials. They are complete with the work, and we received a clear lien certificate today. Serena has it, and that is up for approval for your consideration later on the agenda.
All right. Any questions? Finally. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Airport projects. Aircraft operations. Davey.
Operations for last month was 388, and passengers 1,550. Operations were down. Rotorcraft is not on site yet, and we actually fish cars. We moved on from this year's fish car.
Okay.
And we do not have, did not have a vehicle count for the equipment.
Okay. All right. Airport Connector Road and Bridge, Piciola and Associates.
Yes, Sea Level Construction's a contractor. They've been on site. They've done most of the demolition. They've done a lot of clearing and grubbing on the corridor itself between LA1 and 3235. Right now, they're in the Bayou driving test piles. They drove the first test pile on Friday. They're driving the second one today, and then there's going to be a third test pile that they'll drive probably later this week or early next week. They do plan on moving on 3235 to start some drainage work within the next month. We do have change order number 3 on the agenda for approval, and that's an increase of $2,552.40. That's for clearing of debris due to Hurricane Ida. And then we'll eventually have another change order at a later meeting to give them some days for Hurricane Ida. We didn't give them days because we wasn't settled on that today.
Joe, they have a boat, a little boat or something that hangs them borders around that crane?
Yes, they do.
Okay, because right now you can't pass in by Lafourche.
Okay. They're supposed to only.
The borders is clear across.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they have a boat to move it out if another boat
They are
comes, yeah.
trying to move as they do it, but right now, this morning, they were actually driving the pile.
Oh, okay.
So while they're doing that operation, they were gonna close it down and open it back
Yeah,
up.
because they clean across right now, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the Sealcoat and Pavement markings, GIS Engineering.
Okay, we took bids for this project yesterday morning. We had 2 bids, Axtel Zinc and Gee Asphalt Systems. Both bids were within the budget. Our estimate was just over $1 million. The Gee Asphalt was $816,149.91, and Axtel's was $962,973.35. That was for the base bid and both alternates. We are still reviewing those bids. We have some questions with Bryce, and we'll be working on that over the next couple of weeks. Probably ask y'all to have a special meeting in 2 weeks, or if you want to do something now.
So we need to get DOTD's approval before awarding. Either we can award today subject to DOT's approval, or if there's not a time-sensitive issue, we can work with DOTD in the meantime and just come back at the next meeting.
I mean, if it's fine, I mean, assuming that everything comes out fine, I mean, it would be okay to have the board approve the bids, awaiting DOTD's approval, pending DOTD's approval, if the board's okay with doing that.
But he did make the comment, you need to review the bids before, or have you reviewed,
We've got some review. I've got, like I said, I've got some questions about it, but that'll go through the DOTD process and stuff, so y'all can do that, approving all those issues working out. Or again, y'all have a committee meeting. Well, the 2 weeks though is the budget committee meeting, so
Well, we
y'all
know how
might.
to make that motion, I'm just asking. All right.
No, I'll tell you, if there's gonna be some questions, if there's some questions on the bids for whatever reason, I'd rather you not, I'd rather you not approve it. Let's have a special meeting when we have our budget meeting. We can just add that to the agenda and have a quick special meeting to approve it, assuming everything works out fine. It would be cleaner that way if we
That'll
do
be
it.
in less than 2 weeks, so I think that'll
Okay.
To make it work, okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Director.
Thank you.
I felt we could work around it, but cleaner
Yeah.
seems to be a better way to go.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to other projects, the Fouchon Pavilion project, Picciolo and Associates.
We took bids, and Onshore Materials was the low bidder in the amount of what, 1 million? Let's see. I have it right here. $1,960,000 even. We approved that at the last special meeting. We got the contracts to them. They did their 10-day documents, so they do have the formal contracts in hand as of yesterday. So they have 15 days to return those. We have informed them and anticipate giving them a notice to proceed immediately after we receive signed contracts and bonds. And that'll put us towards the end of May for completion of the project. So the big thing, all of the work can be done fairly simply, fairly quickly. The big delay is receiving of the metal building components. So that is supposedly scheduled to be done sometime in April, and then after that, they'll be complete with the project.
Okay. All right, any questions? Thank you, Joe. All right, Bayou Lafourche mooring Dolphins, Angelette Picciola.
So this project is ongoing. Bomac is the contractor, and we expect they're going to be complete with the majority of the removal this week. They do have a number of items that we want them to go back and look for that they didn't fully retrieve some of the batter piles. So once they come back with that information, we'll be visiting with Davey and see if we need to do anything further. Work's going well, and we do have their first pay app for partial mobilization before you today. It's for $10,940.85, and we recommend approval of that. It's later on the agenda.
Okay. Any questions?
All right.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
All right, Coastal Wetlands Park, the Planners Design Group, Chad Danos. Here's a little
Good morning.
presentation for us. Thank you.
Did I hit something? Okay. Well, to begin with, I'm happy to be here and report to you all on the Coastal Wetlands Park. If you remember, about 2 years ago, we started off with developing a comprehensive master plan for the Coastal Wetlands Park and how we can incorporate the Tidal Creek, paddle trails, walking trails, the rodeo pavilion, and how that can all work together in tandem, and develop the concepts that Chet and Davey had started quite a while back, and so we've helped put that together. From there, we then submitted for a land and water conservation grant from the federal government. And so if you're not familiar with LWCF, its funding is derived from offshore oil revenues. Seems obvious that you would be a prime candidate. So we finally, after 2 years, finally got the feds to approve the project. It's a $700,000 project cost, 50-50 matching grant, and everything you see in the red is the area what they consider to remain in outdoor recreation. It's also your mitigation bank. So in that we will have observation deck and pavilions, boardwalks and trail connecting your paddle launch to the rodeo pavilion. We'll have some wayfinding and some interpretive signs so that school kids can come down. You can talk about the story about the environment and the coast and how industry works hand in hand, and you can tell the whole story about that and educate the public on that. So there'll be seating areas along the boardwalk, and the observation decks with some native landscape in there. So this is the actual project scope. You'll see there where we actually have boardwalks that connect the paddle launch to the rodeo pavilion. We have an observation deck and then some seating areas, and that's all part of this initial grant. And this is just a schematic that we had submitted for an idea of an observation deck where you can get up above ground and look out and see the port in the background, see the coast, see the wetlands, and be really something that attracts people to see and understand more about what Port Fourchon's all about. So with that, I think the next steps is to execute the contract with the state and the federal government, and then once that is executed, then they'll have a kickoff meeting, and then once a kickoff meeting where they lay out all the requirements, then we can then be engaged to move forward with developing the construction documents to proceed with bidding on the project. Any questions?
Nope, just welcome back. It's been a while since we've been down here, and glad to have you, Chad.
Glad to be back.
Thank you.
And there is later on the agenda an approval of, consider approving an agreement for this project with the state. Thank you, Chad. Okay, next project is Hurricane Ida, and just wanted to kind of go through a few things with Hurricane Ida. We are in the process of doing debris removal That's continuing now, and the goal is to have that completed by the 27th of this month. Have all the debris for that one pass throughout the port. If you go down there and you see a bunch of debris on LA 3090 and wondering why that's not being picked up by our contractors, is because that is a state highway and LA DOTD is responsible, and we can't pick it up. Okay, so LA DOTD's contractors are going to come and pick up that debris on LA 3090. Next thing, port complex demolition next door. There was a group that came in yesterday from CSRS, which is our disaster contractor for public assistance, and they're doing, they did a walkthrough. We do have a contractor that's going to come and demolish the building, but that'll happen in a couple weeks. So we kind of put it off so that we can do this review of the building, get all the information together, so that when we submit it to FEMA, we potentially can get replacement costs, or at least cost of the building rather than just the demolition cost, so that we can hopefully replace the building or make decisions on that. But basically the building is more than 51% destroyed inside and out, so we could be eligible for replacement costs for that facility. Okay. The next thing is the temporary administrative building repairs. We're continuing to do that. We fixed the roof section to make sure that was going to be good for us, and then we're going to continue. The contractor should be coming in shortly to get all the facial work done on the outside, re-putting up cement board, and getting the whole building repainted, as well as we are purchasing a generator for that facility while we're in there, so we can have automatic transfer generator that's going to be on wheels, so that once we're done with that facility and we're back into this building, we'll have a generator that we can utilize when we need it, where we need it at any given time. The administration office here, we're continuing to work through the process, writing up project worksheets, and with this whole facility has damage, and we're going to be putting together a project so that we can get this building back, the pieces back put together, so we can move back in as soon as possible. The EOC building in the port, you can see it's completely covered with a temporary roof now. It was just partially covered, but some of that metal, when we had a big wind event just recently, started to come up. It's because it's weak, so they came and covered the rest of the roof, and we're gonna start the process again, just like this building, of getting everything put together so we can get the portions of that building that were damaged back repaired, as well as the operations center in the port. Mechanic shop repairs, I think are we opening bids or quotes? Davey? We have. Okay. A little bit on that, so we'll go ahead and get that canopy back put together for our employees not to get wet if it's raining, while they're putting their fuel in their vehicles. And then the front commercial marina, Derby Collins Marina, and public boat launch wharf repairs. We're working up that project as we speak, and getting things put together so we can put that out to bid to repair all those wharves at those 3 locations. Okay. And again, all of these are going to be FEMA projects.
What about the airport? We have FEMA projects at the airport?
Yes, we do have FEMA projects at the airport. The big hangar needs to be repaired, and the terminal building has some repairs as well, and some other, our instruments took some damage, and we're working through that as well to get those repaired as quickly as possible, because the instruments obviously are very important to the operations of the airport.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you have Mr. Shasso.
That is it.
All right, public comment.
Okay, I know we have Clerk of Court Annette Fontana is here, and she wanted to make some comments, so thank you for being here.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning. Annette Fontana, Lafourche Parish Clerk of Court. Do you need me to say my address, like the parish
No.
council?
We
Okay.
know, we know where you're at.
I just want to remind everybody that we do have an election on Saturday if you have not early voted. We did have a biz box. I don't know if y'all noticed it out at the Galliano Annex. Now there's a tent out there. If you pass by, you can see it. We also have a tent out at Go-to-Meta Middle School. Just to kind of sum it up, following the storm, just like everybody had to do, we had to come up with an election plan with the state, and we had to come up with it early to be able to order supplies, plan for logistics and things like that. So just, I guess, as a reminder to all of you, if you could share with your constituents that we've had to change some polling locations, and I'll run through them very quickly. For any voter that would have voted at Holy Rosary Catholic School Cafeteria, that's Ward 10, Precinct 1, they're going to be voting at North LaRose Elementary School. For any voters that would have voted at South Lafourche High School, East Galliano, and East Galliano Fire Station, they're going to be at the big tent at the Galliano Government Complex. We'll have, it's kind of like a super precinct that we're going to have there, a centralized location for Galliano. Anyone that voted at the Go-to-Meta Settlement School, Go-to-Meta Upper Elementary School, or the St. Joseph Church Recreation Center, they're all going to be voting at Go-to-Meta Middle at the tenant sites. We tried to have some central locations around all those polling places to make it convenient for the citizens of the 10th Ward. Anyone that voted at West Cutoff Fire Station is actually going to be voting at Cutoff Elementary, and anyone that had voted previously at Cutoff Middle School is going to be moved to the virtual academy. Anyone that has a question about where they should vote or where they could vote, they could visit the Go Vote app. They can go to the Go Vote app. It's very, very convenient. I use it every election day. It tells me what's on my ballot. It tells me who my public officials are. It gives you a map on how to get to your precinct if you know, or not, if you don't know how to get there. Or there is a phone number. It is 1-800-883-2805. If a citizen is displaced and they're not sure where their precinct has moved to, they can call that number as well. They can always call us. We are glad to take your call. Just to, I guess, to direct people, we do have individuals that'll be stationed at the old polling precincts on election day, and we also have signage. So the voters will be directed on where to go. I'd like to just remind everybody that this is a temporary relocation. It is simply and only because of Hurricane Ida, because a lot of our precincts were severely damaged, or they're like all of us who, continue to work in our buildings. Their buildings may have significant damage, so we don't want to impede them. For example, South Lafourche High School, they've been having a lot of work done there. We couldn't impede any of that continued work, which they do a lot of that on the weekends when, the businesses are closed or the schools are in. If people don't know what's on the ballot, if you haven't voted, what's on the ballot primarily here in the 10th Ward is the 4 constitutional amendments, the state constitutional amendments. They all deal with, they primarily deal with taxes. I can run through them if you want, but
Well, that'll be okay.
I've figured that everybody can visit PAR Louisiana and look at that, or go to govote.com. But I just wanted to take a minute to remind everybody, ask you to remind your constituents, and then of course to see all of you. It's always nice to see all of you. Here.
Actually, glad you came. It's been so long that we didn't know what you looked like.
It hasn't been so long.
I'm glad you came.
I have been down the bayou a great deal.
Yep.
I just haven't been able to be here at your meeting. This election has added over the last 2 months of. Usually elections are pretty smooth and seamless. This has added a few kinks for us all, just like what all of you are doing every day. There's some new issues that pop up, but we all work through it. That's what we were elected to do, and that's what we're here for. So, thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Fontana. Appreciate it.
All right, we have a number of other dignitaries in the audience today, so I'd like to announce them that they're here. So we have Mr. Doug Sheremy with Attorney General Jeff Landry's office. We have Lynn Kiger, the President and CEO of the Lafourche Chamber. Thank you, Lynn. We have Mr. Fred Trowbridge with Congressman Steve Scalise's office. Thank you. Parish President Archie Chasson is here as well. You want to say something, or are you good? All right.
So a couple of things, guys. I want to first by saying thank you for the partnership in this storm. Chet and Chief Kindler and your group is always great to work with. And although we had a good test last season with the 7 storms that we had to work through, taking this one on the chin proved that those test runs last year worked. And I think the coalition of government, and whether we're talking the port and the parish, or Annette working through elections, or the court systems with the DNR judges, I think we did a hell of a job, and we had a lot to be proud of in Lafourche. And secondly, I want to say thank you for all the support last council meeting as we took on once again the oil and gas lawsuit stuff. Chet came up to Matthews and spoke on it, and I think we've put this thing to bed for the foreseeable future, hopefully. After that meeting and the overwhelming support of the council, where this was not gonna pass and we were not gonna sign on to those things. I sent a letter to the governor saying that we were not gonna sign on to it. But if he felt like he had to sign it, just to send me a copy in the mail with his signature on it, we'd stick it in the file cabinet in case we ever needed it. But as Chet pointed out, over the last few years, or last few months, people have asked why we continue to pump money into our coast, into the port, into our levee systems. It's because of things like Port Fourchon and our kids and our grandkids that we continue to do it. And signing on to that lawsuit was going to be a detriment to all of that as we try to rebuild the community, especially here in South Lafourche. So, as always, thank you guys for all the great partnerships you do, but those 2 points over the last couple of months, I wanted to highlight and say thank you.
Thank you, Archie. And I think from us and the Port Commission to the parish government, Archie and his crew and the parish council, I think the partnership that we have right now is really good, and I appreciate the leadership that has been relayed throughout this event, and over the last couple of years, it's really been good to work. I mean, unfortunately, we've had some issues to deal with, right, with COVID and hurricanes and all of that, but we've worked very well together, so we appreciate that for sure. And then last but not least, we have Parish Councilman Daniel Lorraine is here as well. Thank you, Mr. Lorraine, for being here. Absolutely.
Good morning and thank you. As the parish president said, at the meeting of October the 26th, the item came up again, the moratorium with resolution. Resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with Freeport Sulphur Company, and it was pulled. I don't like it being pulled, because when you pull something, you kill it at that time, but it's still alive. It should have been voted down and finished. But I personally want to thank Commissioner Gisclair, Commissioner Lafont, and Kali and Chet for calling me and asking me how I stood on this. And I says, appreciate you calling, but my vote would be no matter what. You can't destroy the people that feed you. That's the way I look at it. Y'all deal with all companies, tenants. Y'all do very well. So, my opinion on who should be sued, it should be the state of Louisiana, because they're the ones that issued the permits, and they didn't hold these companies accountable to fix it after they destroyed it. That's just me. I could be wrong. I'm not saying they don't have a little bit to do with it, but they're not 100% their responsibility. And so that's what, I appreciate. I hope it comes up again and we kill it. I tried to kill it, but I was unsuccessful in trying to kill it, because pulling it is dead, like I said. But anyway, most of you probably know that the fishing pier in Leeville is gone, completely gone. And working with the parish president, the boat launch is okay. The pavilion is okay. We got the road cut and we're trying to get it repaired where the people can use the boat launch. The boat launch is usable, and that's being worked on as we speak. Airport corridor, the bridge and the road. Who's got the parish is maintaining the bridge and the road after this project is completed?
That's part of the agreement, yep.
Okay, no, I just,
Yes, sir.
I had an idea. I was thinking about it. I was just wondering, you know, when you take on, because we got the Galliano Bridge broken right now, when you take on a bridge, and the state's good at giving the parish the bridges, you can't tell them you're not going to take it. Anyway, for the first 10 years, it's not too bad. After they get old and they break, well, like anything else, you know. So that's going to be a pretty good deal. We've always worked with the Port Commission, you know. They might not always agree with what I got to say. I might not always agree with what you got to say, but more, 99%. And my last topic is, before this pandemic, before the hurricane, we were having problems with helicopters flying low. I live right in the flight zone, okay? And I brought it to the council, I didn't succeed. Briscoe shut down, they're flying out of the airport. I don't know what y'all did, but whatever y'all did, it's working. It's really working. Most of the flights in District 9, they have some in District 8, and I've been working by my daughter's house, and quite a few's been flying there, but it seems like they're flying at the right height. So I want to come and thank you guys for whatever you did. It's really successful, and I'm thanking you. And
Thank you. I can tell you what we did.
That's fine.
We had a meeting with them at the airport and expressed the situation, and they said they would handle it, and it was handled. So
no, that's fine.
So I appreciate that.
But you know how it is. There's always one bad apple in the basket. Then you got to bring it back to their attention.
Right.
But overall, I'm telling you, it's been good.
Thank you.
It's been good.
Good.
Okay? And I appreciate you letting me address you.
Thank you. And we had another dignitary that walked in the room, Representative Joseph Ogeron. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you have any comments? If you you don't have to make comments. Just offering you the opportunity if you have any.
Your own progress. I've seen the progress of the bridge and the real pleased. And did get a call to make sure to keep the Fouchon Bridge connector.
Yes.
Fouchon Bridge on Capitol Outlay up and elevated so that it don't slip.
Right.
It's still.
Thank you. Thank you.
Working on that.
Appreciate it. That's it. If there's no other public comment.
Any other public comment?
Thank you.
All right. Next, we go into committee reports. First, we have the executive committee. Members are Chucky Sherman, Chairman, Ronnie J. Gisclair Sr., Mike Cully, John Mellison Jr. Okay, consider approving the request from Rotorcraft Leasing Company for improvements at the airport.
Okay, so you can see on the screen, we've talked about this a few times already, but the kind of polka dotted picture outlined in red is where the current terminal is that needs to be demolished because of damage from the storm. They're going to replace that with a new hangar so that they have more room to do work on helicopters. They're going to bring in 6 or 8 modular units to make their terminal. That's the hashed rectangle in yellow, and then the helicopter pads that are outlined in blue on the screen are going to be added as well. It's basically just a picture that they grabbed and put back there of what's currently out there, and they're just going to add another set, and that should give them enough room for growth for the foreseeable future. So their request to us is that they would do all of that work, and then we would then get it appraised and purchase it from them. Then they would lease it back from us for time. Bryce, any other comments?
No, that's it. Basically, we would, if you guys approve it right now, we would move forward with the first lease amendment just like we've done in the past, which allows them to proceed with constructing it. We come back, we appraise it, purchase it at appraised value, and we turn around and lease it back.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Curtis Pierce, second by Mr. Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have considered approving the agreement with Louisiana Department of Culture and Recreation and Tourism for the Fort Fourchon Coastal Wetland Project.
Okay, so we had a long discussion about that earlier, and good discussion. This is a total project of $700,000. We're gonna get funds from, through the state, through the Land and Water Conservation Fund of $350,000, a 50% cost. Recommendation to approve.
Okay, I need a motion moved by Mike Colley, second by Johnny Ordorn. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Getting out of executive committee, going to, well, no, we don't have
No
permits and
permits, that's right.
we're going straight into construction and development committee. Members are Larry Griffin, chairman, Chris Colley, Jim Lafourche, Chucky, chairman. Mr. Griffin, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. President. First is consider approving change order number 1 from Crosby Dredging for the Slip Deep project in Bayou Lafourche.
All right, that is for an increase of 47 days. Recommendation to approve.
I need a motion. Moved by John Mellison, second by Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next is consider accepting the clear lien certificate from Onshore Materials for the GLF 626 site improvement project.
Project is complete. Recommendation to approve.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Mr. Larry Griffin, second by Jim Lafourche. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next is consider approving change order number 3 for sea level constructions for the airport connector road and bridge project.
All right, this is an increase of $2,652.40. Recommendation to approve.
I need a motion. Moved by Mike Colley, second by Mr. Ronnie Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Next, consider approving the lowest responsive bid for Sealcoat and pavement markings.
Okay, so based on discussion earlier, under the project section, we'll take no action on this and take it up at a special meeting in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Next, Mr. Larry.
Okay, next is consider accepting the bid for the cutoff mechanic shop repair.
All right, we had a low bid of $25,400. Recommendation to approve.
All right, need a motion. Moved by Larry Griffin, second by Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. That's the quickest you've ever done.
Yes.
He's on a roll.
We're on a roll. Now we're in Finance Committee. Members are John Mellison Jr., Chairman, Rodney J. Gisclair Sr., Mike Colley, and Chucky Sherman. Mr. Mellison, your turn.
Good morning and thank you, Mr. President. We'll begin by consider approving payment of the October 2021 invoices and recognizing those expenditures over $10,000. And we'll begin with item 1, Cotton Commercial USA Incorporated, $459,616.39. That's for water damage mitigation due to Hurricane Ida. Item 2, Graham County Land Company, $93,979.94. That's for debris removal due to Hurricane Ida. Item 3, American Integration Contractors, $73,878.02. That is for C4 support renewal. Item 4, GIS Engineering, $56,131.35. That's for the GAO Airport Terminal Building, dredging of Slip D, Fourchon Island, Fourchon Bridge and Mitigation Bank, West Fourchon Marsh, and General Consulting. Item 5, Grand Isle Shipyard, $51,765.04. That's for contract labor at the airport, flotation canal road shoulder, limestone due to Hurricane Ida that was needed. Item 6, Angelette Picciola LLC, $50,560.89. That's for post Ida minus Jeremy Road recommendations along with the Fouchon Bridge. Item 7, PCO and Associates, $49,931.92. That's for the Airport Connector Road and Bridge, Northern Expansion Phase 3 Slip C, 1,500 linear feet of bulkhead, dredge permit, flotation canal and mooring Dolphins, port complex demolition, airport hangar repair, Fouchon Pavilion, and the mechanic shop. Item 8, courtesy Ford, $35,114.61, and that's for a 2022 Ford 350. Item 9, Transform YX, $34,870, the annual SmartNet subscription. Item 10, Louisiana Machinery, $31,597.40, equipment rental due to Hurricane Ida for response and recovery. Item 11, Vision Communication, $28,094.73, internet, phone, cable, and fiber optic services. Item 12, New Orleans Power Sports, $22,796.05, and that's for a 2022 Can-Am ATV off-road utilization vehicle. Item 13, Waggersback Oil Company Incorporated, $15,637.84. That is for vehicles used for port and equipment. Item 14, Dell, $13,069.60, computer equipment for Hurricane Ida replacements. And last, we have Bomac Contractors, $10,940.85, and that's for mooring Dolphin replacements. Mr. Griffin, you think I got them all?
You got him.
All right, these along with the rest of our expenditures brings us to $1,581,159.41. And Mr. President, I would like to make a motion we accept these expenditures.
All right, I need a second.
I'll second.
By Mike Cully, second. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion pass.
Next, we have on our agenda, consider approving the October 2021 unaudited financial statements as discussed on Monday night. And I'd like to make a motion that we accept this, Mr. President.
All right, I got a motion by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
And last, we have consider approving the out-of-state travel and training request. We have Director Chasson, Commissioner Ordorn, and Commissioner Chris Calle, attending the AAPA Commissioner Seminar in California, December 6th through the 10th. Next, we have Harbor Police Chief Mike Kindler and Corporal Scott Bynum attending the Central Square User Conference in Orlando, Florida, March 27th through the 31st. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept these out-of-state travel and training requests.
All right, I got a motion by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President, this concludes the Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Mellison.
Good job, Mr. Melissa.
Any other business? Any public comment?
I'd just like to remind everyone tomorrow's Veterans Day, and to please keep the veterans who put themselves in harm's way for us to have the life that we live today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. And also, I'd like to tell everyone, we won't have the meeting, but we're in November and Thanksgiving's coming up, so I know we've been through a lot of, this past 2 months, a lot of terrible times with the Hurricane Ida and everything. From me, and I get from everyone on this commission, the commissioners, the administration, the workers from the Port Commission, our families, wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And remember, no matter what, your family's everything. The last 2 years have been bad. You can be with your family no matter what anybody says. Be with your family. And everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Mr. Lafont.
I move that we adjourn.
Got a motion by Mr. Lafont, a second by Mr. Ordorn. Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting's closed.